My name is Judith Abrams, and I'm a Broadway producer. And I've been asked to speak to you today. Of course, you can call me Judy. I've been asked to speak to you today about how you get into this business and the business of show business. I do underline business because a lot of people come into it thinking it's very glamorous, and they love going to all the parties, etc., etc. And let me tell you, it is a very, very difficult business. You have to have complete passion for what you do. Don't wear a watch because you never have time to see what time it is. And as far as my own background is concerned, I come from 3 generations of people in theater and in show business. And while that sounds as if it would help, it does in one way, but it puts an extra pressure on you to really, if somebody opens a door, produce for them. And I've been very, very lucky. I started out in this business majoring in college in journalism, and I found that to be very helpful. It was at one point I wanted to go into television journalism, but I came to New York, and as a survival job, I worked for a chain of theaters called the Music Fair, and noticed that the matinee shows like Sound of Music or whatever, was selling out, and that there was a big niche and a need for theater for children. So I started a company called the Pixie Judy Troupe. It was producing Broadway musical shows that ultimately were recorded by Richard Rodgers for the Rodgers and Hammerstein Music Library. And I did that for a very, very long time because that's my passion, is working for producing for kids. I got sidelined because I heard through my friends the Weislers that they were doing Annie Get Your Gun, and I wanted to do a Broadway show, and I got involved with that, and one thing led to another, and finally I was able to say that I was a Tony Award-winning Broadway producer when Spring Awakening won 8 Tonys. What I would like to talk to you about today is that if you're really dedicated and have passion for this business, that's one thing, but the other side of it is that forget the show part. Forget the show part. It is a business. And in today's economy, it's very difficult to raise money. So the thing that will help you most is that to be very, very aware of marketing. Be very aware of what the market needs. And I'll give you an example of that. I was working as a casting director for the Music Fair Enterprises. They had 10 theaters all around the country. And I noticed that shows like The Sound of Music, for example, sold out during matinees, and I went to the owners and I asked them if I could create a family theater for them for the matinee hours in their theaters. Well, we ended up doing that for 10 summers and selling 6,000 tickets a day. Why? Because we knew how to market to that particular audience, and we also knew that there was a void in the market, and that is called producing. The other side of it is raising money, which is also very difficult. My first advice to you is to have a very rich family. No, I'm kidding. No, my first advice to you is to network as much as you can. Feel very passionate about the show that you're selling. If you have any kind of thoughts that maybe it won't do so well, or maybe it won't do so well on the road, don't do it. Be sure the most important thing when you get involved with a show is to check who the management is. You want to make sure that your investors get their money back. So you want to make sure of all these different facets. So once you do collect money and you have a group of people who believe in you, you want to keep it that way. And that's called making their money back, at least, even if they don't make a big profit. So that's the basics of what I found worked for me for doing theater and helping to raise money for Broadway shows. I'm one of the producers of Spring Awakening, and I was involved with Annie Get Your Gun with Bernadette Peters and Cheetah Rivera. So I've worked with great people. And that's another thing I want to just leave you with, and that's the idea of mentoring. If you really, really, really think somebody has something to teach you, talk to them, because people in this business love to share information, particularly successful people. And it's just, I've been so blessed with great mentors, and I wish the same for you. I wish you a lot of luck, and stick to it. If you love it, it'll happen.